Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. I am Shu, and let me take a sip of my coffee before we get started. So I haven't been filming for a number of reasons, but mainly because I have been decluttering off camera for some times now, and it has been an eye-opening experience. It feels good now to be left with the palettes that I absolutely love in my makeup collection. I guess specifically eyeshadow palettes collection. I had over 200 eyeshadow palettes, and I was able to let go of over 100 eyeshadow palettes as of late, and it feels good. It feels good to make space, not to bring in more things, but to be content with what's left in my makeup collection. And I wanted to share the palettes that are left in my collection, and I want to briefly go over each one of them, holding them up to show you guys why I am keeping this specific type of palette, if that makes sense. I was gonna do an overhead shot of all of the eyeshadow palettes, and which I might still do towards the end of the video. I'll show you guys how I store my eyeshadow palettes, and I will also be showcasing the ones that I'm letting go of. I had showcased it in my latest eyeshadow palettes declutter, and I still have some of them left, obviously, because I'm trying to rehome them. And I am selling all of the palettes that I'm no longer keeping in my eyeshadow palettes collection on Mercari. So if you guys are interested in purchasing any of them, it will be on my Mercari page, and I will leave a link in the description box if you guys are interested. And please feel free to message me on there and let me know that you are a subscriber of mine, so that way I can give you a bigger discount and throw in some freebies for being my subscriber. So anyways, let's get started with the eyeshadow palettes that I am deciding to keep. So this is the latest palette that is added to my makeup collection. So this is Makeup by Mario's Ethereal Eyes. I also really wanted the Natasha Denona's, I believe her nude, is it nude? I forgot the name. That's how much I don't pay attention to new releases anymore. But I really wanted her latest eyeshadow palette, and it's very similar to this one. I just wanted to compare the two, and plus this speaks to me because this is my color story when it comes to a perfect neutral eye makeup look. If you guys own this already, let me know how you like it. The next one I have is Tartelette in Bloom, and this is by Tarte. I've had this forever. This is my go-to neutral eyeshadow palette. I take this with me on my travel sometimes. Tarte eyeshadow palettes can be a hit or miss, but this one definitely was a hit for me. And then I have this one, the Charlotte Tilbury's Starry Eyes to Hypnotize. I believe I have a tutorial using this palette, but I really love the trio concept in this eyeshadow palette. I like that there's green slot and also blue, kind of like silvery shade here, and of course her pillow talk type of shades over here. I think this palette is sort of versatile. Most of her eyeshadow palettes look super similar to each other, so I think one palette or one or two palettes from her is enough for me to feel satiated. So I was planning to declutter this one, but I'm gonna keep it to play around with it a little bit more. But yeah, I need to play with this a little bit more. So two of my OG palettes, the Urban Decay Naked and Luxx Pro. If you have been on YouTube since 2010, 2011, or could be close to 2013, these palettes were everything. Everyone and their mama were talking about these palettes. So Naked Basics, I used to have a lot of the Naked, I guess, eyeshadow palettes line. I had the Naked 2, Naked 3, and then I kind of lost interest, and I found myself using this one the most. So I decided to declutter all of my Naked palettes, but I kept this one for nostalgic reasons, and this was my jam back in the days, and I'm still gonna use it even though this is like over a decade old. It's gorgeous. And same goes for this one. So I am making some progress in these eyeshadow palettes, mainly because they were very old, very loved, and very much used. But I'm still not gonna let go of it, because every time I pick these palettes up, it takes me back in time. And also I just love how these eyeshadows look on my eyes. Doesn't perform as well as it used to, but I'm still gonna keep them for, like I mentioned, nostalgic reasons. And then I have Patrick Ta's Major Dimensions eyeshadow palette. This is the original one, and I got this from PR, and I forgot who sent this out to me, but I have a review on this if you guys are interested. And I don't care for these two cream shades, mainly because I have really oily lids, and if I place any cream eyeshadows on my eyes, it'll be creasing for the entire day, even with the primer on. So don't care for it, but I love the color story, especially for, I guess, every day. You can use some of these light brown shades for every day, and these warm tones for, I guess, more for summertime. And I reviewed this palette, I believe, during the summertime, and appears quite warm on my eyes. I like it. I don't particularly love it, but the quality of these eyeshadows are really great. So I have these two palettes from KKW. I gave one of these palettes to my younger sister when I was leaving New York to come to LA, and I decided to buy another one when she was having her markdowns because her online store was closing. So I decided to pick this up again. This is the KKW X Mario eyeshadow palette, and I haven't played with it. I had used the old palette that I had given to my younger sister, specifically for this blue, this gorgeous cobalt blue shade. And I think most of these shades looks pretty wearable for everyday purposes. I don't know if my younger sister is still using this palette. I'm sure she is, I think. But I absolutely love the look of this palette. I was thinking if I should declutter this or not, but I do want to play around with it. If you guys are interested in seeing me doing a tutorial with this palette, please let me know. So obviously same goes for this one, the Artist and Muse palette. And look, there's Mario and Kim Kardashian. And this is how the palette looks like. This is more for, I guess, the spring summertime because of the warm tones here. Beautiful color story. You know, I feel like Mario just knows his nude colors. It's just, I feel like these type of shades will look good on anyone. I'm not sure about the deeper skin tone ladies out there, but these colors are definitely up my alley. So then we have three of the ABH palettes. These are the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes. We're going to start off with Soft Glam. This is one of my favorite palettes. This will be considered one of my favorites in the top 10s for sure. I don't know if I made dips in some of them. I'm pretty sure I did. This is well loved when I first purchased it. I don't remember if I did a tutorial using this palette, but this is my, I guess, spring summer type of palette. It's very warm. It pulls a very warm on my skin tone, but you can also neutralize the looks with some of the mauve shades in here. I love the color story of ABH palettes. I think it's quite unique for her time. And then this is currently what I'm loving right now for especially the winter holiday months. This is the Sultry palette, and she had released, I believe, the mini version of this or the 9-pen version of this, but it is a gorgeous palette nonetheless. You can see that it is also well loved. So yeah, I love this palette. And then we have, last but not least, the Modern Renaissance palette. I had decluttered a lot of ABH palettes, and these are the only three that's left. And I have tutorials on this, I believe, like back in the heydays. But I used the crap out of this one too. I absolutely love this palette. It's gorgeous, and I don't really care for pink shades, but somehow with these shades, it kind of work together really nicely. And I really like the looks that I can sort of achieve with this palette. Yeah, so this is a gorgeous palette. So continuing on, I have two of the MAC 15 pan palettes, and they look pretty much identical because they kind of are. There's some repeat shades in both of these palettes, and I got one from, I guess, Nordstrom when they were having some sort of anniversary sale, and I just wanted to get it because I love MAC Cosmetics. I still do. I haven't shopped from them in such a long time, and I don't know if they do their, you know, they have that program where you can bring in 6 items and get free lipstick or eyeshadow or something like that. I don't know if they do that anymore, or they probably had stopped because it's been so long. But this one is warm neutrals, and these are just really basic shades, but I use basic shades a lot in my day-to-day makeup look, so you can't really go wrong with any of these MAC shades. Yeah, I was gonna declutter this, but I really like it, so I dip into this from time to time. And then this is the Nordstrom anniversary one, where they kind of put all of the popular shades in one palette. So you have shades like Honey Lust, All That Glitters, Saddle, Mulch, Rice Paper, Amber Light, Woodwinked, and All That Glitters were really popular shades. We have Wedge, Brawn, Omega, Sand Taupe. You guys remember Sand Taupe? If you are a MAC Cosmetics lover, you know what Sand Taupe is. We have Embark, Beauty Mark. Beauty Mark is another one. This purple shade right here, I believe. Yeah, this purpley shade. And this is Sand Taupe. I have like 2 of these. And then Carbon. So gorgeous MAC palettes. And then I have 4 of the Natasha Denona's palettes. So I'm including the face palette in the eyeshadows category because of the quint that they had included within this palette, and I have a review on this palette. This is the light one. I am getting rid of the dark palette because I feel like it's just, I don't need 2 of them. If nobody buys it though, I am planning to keep it. Anyways, these shades are gorgeous. I took this with me to New York when I was visiting back in the summer of this year. And it's a great palette. I love the blush and the highlighter. It's just a really nice cohesive palette, and these shimmery shades are super pigmented and super shiny, so absolutely love. And then of course I have the Glam palette and the Bronze palette. So the Glam palette is my go-to everyday neutral eye makeup palette. You really cannot go wrong with it. The shades here are just perfection. And this is a little bit more on the cooler tone side, but she did include some neutral shades in here that you can pretty much wear on daily basis for my skin tone in particular. So I absolutely love. The Bronze palette, I pretty much take this out during the spring and summertime because of the warm neutral shades here. So this color story is definitely really warm, especially on my skin tone during the summertime. I think it's just makes me feel like a bronze goddess, so I absolutely love. And let me know if you guys want to see any sort of tutorials using any of these eyeshadow palettes that I am showcasing. I think sometimes old is gold, so I want to give more love to all of these palettes that I am keeping, and they are really special. Anyways, this is the Biba palette. I haven't touched this at all, so I might be doing a tutorial using this palette, but it is absolutely gorgeous. A lot of people love this palette, and I grabbed this when she was doing, I forgot, was it like 30% off one time? I don't know. I had this palette in my collection just sitting collecting dust because I was, you know, overwhelmed by the sheer amount of eyeshadow palettes that I have that this was sort of tucked away and it shouldn't be. So yeah, I am going to be doing a tutorial and giving you guys a review on this palette if you guys are still sort of interested. I think this is one of those old but gold type of eyeshadow palettes. So we are now dipping into the Pat McGrath world, and brace yourselves because I have a lot of her eyeshadow palettes and I can't seem to get rid of it because of the color story and the pigmentation. I feel like Mama Pat makes great eyeshadow palettes, and I know not everyone can agree, but I love her palettes. So anyways, I have all of her mega mothership palettes. These are really huge. I really don't like huge eyeshadow palettes, but for some reason I just cannot get rid of them. So I have the first one. This is the Celestial Divinity. I'm sure if you guys are Pat McGrath lovers, you already know how these palettes look like, and if you don't like her eyeshadow palettes, I'm sorry for displaying them, but it's what I like, you know. So this is a little bit too purple for my liking. I really was thinking to declutter this palette, but I don't know, I still want to play around with it because I especially love the green shades in here. Like this one, I think it's like a little bit duochrome. So I want to play with this more, and I have like, did I do 2 tutorials using this palette? I'm sure that I have 2 tutorials using this palette. Oh, could be the other one, I don't remember. But anyways, I love this palette. My favorite one out of the 3, this will be it. This is the Mothership Mega and Celestial Odyssey. So she have a lot of fancy names that sound similar, so I get confused sometimes, you know. Anyways, this is how it looks like. The color story is quite unique. Some of these shades are quite unique too in my makeup collection. Like I don't have a lot of teals or greens in my makeup collection, so I'm really glad that she added some colors so I can, you know, throw on colors like I did today. I have on some green in my eyeshadow look. So I'm really not fond of very bright or bold, colorful eyeshadow looks. I prefer neutral with a pop of color. That's what I prefer. So anyways, I really want to play with this further. I think this is the one that I have 2 tutorials uploaded, I think. I don't remember. Okay, so this one is a very controversial one. A lot of people either hate it or love it. I am still trying to play with it. I have it on my eyes today using a couple of these shades on just to see how I feel about it again, and I am liking the performance of these shades. They blend out really nice, the matte shades, and the shimmery shade is really nice as well. It goes on really smoothly. Mothership Mega and Celestial Nirvana. So this year I was not interested in picking up any of the things that she's been releasing in the year of 2023, but next year if she does release something quite interesting to my liking, I might pick up the Mothership 11, but it just really depends on what she's releasing next year. So I am still playing with this palette. I don't think did I do a review on this? I don't think I have, so I might be doing tutorials using this eyeshadow palette. If you guys have it in your collection, let me know what you think of this palette. So now we are briefly gonna go over all of her Mothership palettes. I have a total of 10 of them, so I'm just gonna go over them briefly because this video will be like 50 minutes long and I have a lot more to showcase. So Mothership number 1 I am keeping because I love this shade over here, not the blue, but this shade, and also all of these neutral shades, the cool tone shades that I don't really have in my collection. I think this is quite unique, and I hope she brings back something similar to this for her Mothership 12 or 13 or 14 release. There goes my cat. It says feeding time. And then I have Mothership number 2. This is the green that I topped over with the other green from that Mothership, the latest Mothership palette. So I added the matte green. Let me show you guys briefly. I love the fact that I can kind of use palettes together. So this matte green right here combined with this gorgeous shimmering green on my lower lash line, and I think it's just gorgeous. They melt together, and also some of these golds as well. So honestly, I really wanted to declutter some of the Mothership palettes, but every time I look at her Mothership palettes, I get super happy. So this one is the third one, I think Subversive. So the first one is Subliminal, Sublime, and this is Subversive. This is the grungy tone palette. This is great for winter time and I guess colder months because of the dark tones in here. I have yet to play with this one because it's just too grungy for my liking. So I am planning to sort of tone down my eye look every time I use this. This is a quite challenging one for me. So I should be doing more tutorials on Pat McGrath palettes and making them, I guess, wearable. If you guys are interested, let me know. So number 4, this is the Decadence palette. I haven't used this one as much as I like to either. Again, a lot of colorful shades, a lot of random color story here. This one, when I look at it, I get kind of confused in what I want to do. So I should play with this one more too and make, I guess, more tutorials using this palette just to help anyone who loves eyeshadows but you want to make it more wearable. It is quite challenging for me too, so I will play with it and I will make tutorials using the, I guess, colorful eyeshadows into more of a wearable approach, if that makes sense. And then number 5, this is the, what is it, Bronze Seduction, I believe. Is that what it's called? Mothership 5, yeah. Bronze Seduction. And I know this is a lot of people love this palette. I am so with this palette because I don't care for the red eyeshadow in here. Red eyeshadow looks great on darker skin tone ladies. It is gorgeous. But I feel like on me, medium skin tone, it can look, I mean, it can sort of make me appear sick. Or that I look like I have bloodshot eyes. I am still trying to play with this palette as well. I do really love the deep brown shades in here. It is gorgeous, and some of these Bliss Astral shades are gorgeous. I especially love this rose tone one. It is like, I just... can't really describe how I feel about this. Super gorgeous. So this is my number 1 Mothership palette, the Midnight Sun. Is it Midnight Sun? I'm forgetting the names already. But oh my gosh, this is the one with the purple and the green and the copper. I don't really have much to say because I love this palette. And then the 7th one, this is the Divine Rose. I don't know how I really feel about this palette. This reminds me of the Modern Renaissance palette. I do like it, but it's not my favorite for some reason. A lot of people say this is like her most boring palette or something like that, but I still really enjoy it, especially for the winter months like right now. I think this is especially beautiful, and it goes really nicely with my mauve tops. So yeah, I still really love this palette, and I don't like that they had this repeated shade from Midnight Sun, but it is a gorgeous topper, so I don't mind having, I guess, a repeat of it. So I really don't care for pink eyeshadow palettes, and that's why I'm not picking up the Mothership 11, because this is another pink tone eyeshadow palette, but it's like a toned down pink eyeshadow palette, which I'm still planning to pick up sometimes in the future. But this is the Divine Rose 2, and this is a very bright palette. Every time I wear it, I look like a hot pink mess. But I especially love the dual chrome shade here. because it shifts to green and purple. So yeah, I love wearing that shade on my lower lash line, and just watching the liner shift like this, it's just really fun. Not my favorite, but I still recently I played with it and I am having fun with this palette. So I need to play with it a little bit more, especially during the spring summer months. So this is the Utopian Dream palette. This is number 9, and a lot of people I think were sort of disappointed when this was released because it is very, very similar to Divine Rose 2, because you see the theme of gold and pinks in most of I guess Pat McGrath eyeshadow palettes, and I get it. I feel the pain. But this is another fun one because of this iridescent purpley tone over here. I think it also shifts a little bit from like lilac to pink, but otherwise these shades are very, very pinky toned, and I use this one for blush from time to time. It is quite intense, so you want to be very, very gentle with it. I am still trying to play with this palette as well. And last but not least, Mothership number 10, the Moonlit Seduction. And I absolutely love this. Like my number 2 Mothership palette is just, I don't know, I love this color story for some reason. It's just, I love all of these shades. I don't think they are Bliss Astral shades. A lot of people were not happy about that for some reason, but it just looks like a nice shimmery topper shades. In my opinion, it's just as gorgeous as her other shimmery toppers. And I love that there's 3 mattes in here, and all of these shimmery shades are very, very wearable for daily use. So I absolutely love it. I have no complaints. This is the palette that I reach for the most. Besides my Midnight Sun, I reach for this way, way much more than I intended to. So I absolutely love it, especially for winter months like right now. I think this pulls a little bit cool tone as well, so I absolutely love it. So moving on to my smaller quads and quints, or smaller eyeshadow palettes in general. I have the MAC quad here. I don't know why I decided to purchase a random MAC quad, like I need any more MAC eyeshadows, but I have the Sand Taupe, I think Soft Brown Vanilla, and one of Makeup Geek's eyeshadows. I forgot the name of it, but I wish I can pop it out and show it to you guys. But yeah, this is a palette that I won't throw away, because if I do end up using any of these eyeshadows, I can just buy the pan from like Anastasia or MAC again, and I will pop new shades in here. So this is a useful little quad. I know this is really, really random, but I have one Too Faced eyeshadow palette left, and I decided to keep this one because it smells really, really good. This is the Hot Buttered Rum. I don't know if I have a tutorial on this, but this is such a cute little palette. I absolutely love it, and it is very, very similar to the palette that I customized. This is the Z palette, and I have all of my Makeup Geek eyeshadows here. So this is a 9-pan palette that I have created, and I have used the crap out of this palette because I absolutely love these shades here. If you guys remember Chickadee, this is the popular mustardy kind of transition shade uses from like all her tutorials, and I absolutely love it. Unfortunately, I think she is no longer, yeah, Makeup Geek is no longer available, I think. And this mustardy shade kind of reminds me of that. I also love to take this with me on travels as well, so it's a gorgeous summertime eyeshadow palette. So I have 3 ColourPop palettes left, and I am keeping these 2 because I love the show Mandalorian, and that's kind of solely the reason why I'm keeping them. But at the same time, my boyfriend got these 2 for me for my birthday back in 2021, and I don't think I can let go of these for nostalgic reasons. and sentimental reasons, I guess. But these are really nice color story too. ColourPop releases too many eyeshadow palettes in my opinion, but their formula is not too shabby. So if you want good quality, affordable eyeshadow palettes, I believe ColourPop is the way to go. And I don't have a specific beef with them, but they just are very, I guess, for environmental purposes, it's not very friendly because they're like the fast fashion of makeup world out there. But besides that, I do love this 9pan. It's a really cute theme and gorgeous color story. And then I have here the child palette. I have a tutorial on this. This is the green eyeshadow palette, and I don't have a lot of green in my makeup collection, so this is a nice one to have if I want to do any sort of green eye makeup look, I guess, like today. And then I have a customized wild child palette. I pop some of the shades, specifically these 3 shades from Pat McGrath, I guess one of her mini eye quints, and I threw out the rest. But this is a really beautiful color story now, isn't it? I haven't played with it yet, but I intend to at some point. So I swear, I thought I was going to declutter this one. This is the NARS Climax eyeshadow 9pan palette, and I couldn't do it because I really want to play with it, especially for winter months right now. And like again, I had mentioned that I don't have a lot of greens in my eyeshadow palettes collection, so I want to keep some forest like green tones like this. And then this color is also really interesting to me. It looks like a dark blue but also gray. Very interesting color story, and I haven't done a tutorial using this palette as well, so I have a lot of work to do for 2024. And then I have some of the quints from Natasha Denona. I love her mini palettes. I declutter some of them already, the ones that I know that I won't use, but I'm keeping these specifically for traveling purposes. I have the mini glam. Don't think I have to open it to show it to you guys. If you guys love neutral palettes and if you love Natasha Denona's, I guess, eyeshadows, you will probably have this already. And then I have the Mini Zendo. Mini Zendo looks very similar to Mini Retro palette because I guess of the greeny, it looks really similar. A little bit different because this one has a deeper shade here, but otherwise they look kind of identical even in person. On the eyes, it looks kind of similar. And then I have the Mini Nude palette. So the Camel palette, this quint, I don't know if I mentioned this a couple of times on my channel already. I'm pretty sure I did. I don't have a tutorial using this quint. Or do I? I don't remember. But this is my go-to, everyday go-to palette, and I absolutely love this palette. This will be my #1 eyeshadow palette, like top 10 in my top 10. So #1 eyeshadow palette, because all of these colors are so gorgeous for daily wear, and I need to take this out more often. And yeah, very office friendly type of palette. So we are almost done. I have one Viseart palette now. I have decluttered all of my Viseart palettes for a specific reason. I really like the size of the petite, I guess, 4's eyeshadow pen sizes, and they are customizable, so you can just pop out these eyeshadows from the slot. And I mean, if I hit pan on any of these eyeshadows, I don't want to ruin this. If I can pan on any of these eyeshadows, believe me, I will be repurchasing. And I don't think I'm gonna hit pan on any of my eyeshadows, to be honest. But if I ever hit pan on any of these, I'm probably gonna, I might buy different shades just to test it out. They do sell single pan eyeshadows, I believe. And I love Viseart quality. I just don't want to have too many of similar shades in my collection. But I took this with me on my Cancun trip, and This was a very like no-brainer type of little quads. You can just pretty much throw in your bag and you're good to go. So I absolutely love this, especially the praline kind. So, and then I have one quad from Charlotte Tilbury. I don't think I'm gonna buy more of her quads. I think the pricing is just ridiculous. So this is the Exagger Eyes, and all of them, I think most of them look similar in tones as well. But I do really love this. This color reminds me of Sand Taupe by MAC, but her quality is pretty much superior. So a lovely quad to have on the go. And then I have two prints from Pat McGrath. This is the Nude Allure and Bronze Bliss. Bronze Bliss is the one that Hannah Louise Poston talk about often. This is a gorgeous little quint. I love all of the shimmery shades in here. It's just absolutely divine. I need to play with this more and maybe do a tutorial on it. If you guys are interested, let me know. But yeah, this is gorgeous. I don't know how I feel about this one, the Nude Allure. It doesn't really look neutral to me. This pulls a little bit more purpley pinky tone to my likings, but I'm gonna play with this a little bit more and let you guys know what I think of it, and probably do a tutorial using these quints at some point, you know. But this is still nonetheless gorgeous. And then I have some quads from Pat McGrath. I have a total of 8 of them, which I did a ranking on my channel if you guys are interested in watching. I have Risque Rose. I'm just gonna go over briefly of these quads, but this is the one with that really hot pink. I do really like this shade. It's just super gorgeous and I love the shade as well. Besides the hot pink, I think these 3 shades are really pretty. And then I have Interstellar Icon, one of my favorite quads, especially for this blue here and also this color. I don't know, I'm always drawn to colors like these, but these two are pretty gorgeous as well. So this is a beautiful quad I will never get rid of. And then I have Fleur Fantasia. I don't have any colors like this in my collection, maybe besides this one. I love the pastel tones of this quad. I want to use this more often, I guess, once springtime rolls around. But it's just, I have a tutorial on this if you guys are interested in watching, but you can create such unique and beautiful looks just from this quad alone. And then I have Eternal Eden. Of course, this is like an ideal quad for Pat McGrath because of all of these rosy pink tones. Yeah, you can kind of just get one look. Well, it really depends. If I just choose these 2 together, it might create an interesting like wearable look. I haven't tried it. I should play with it more. But nonetheless, this is a gorgeous pink little quad. And then I have no names on the back. But this is a Ritualistic Rose, I believe. One of my favorite Bliss Astral. All of these are Bliss Astral shades, I believe. Really gorgeous, like warm, neutral, pinky quad. I believe I have a tutorial using all of these quads on my channel, if I'm not mistaken. And then this is Nocturnal Nirvana. This is a type of quad that you want to pick up if you just want that nice pop of color on your under eyes. I think this is a nice one to have for any type of neutral look. But if you like that all over colorful look too, this is a way to go. This is a gorgeous, unique quad. I don't have anything like this, I believe, in my makeup collection. So I really think that this one is unique. And then I think this is Iconic Illumination. This is the one with the red. I love all of these shades here. Besides that burgundy red, I don't really know what to do with it. This is kind of like that holiday kind of quad, specifically for holidays. So I have the Voyeuristic Vixen, and I dropped this one time, so I think the eyeshadows are still kind of intact. Let me just check carefully. I don't think I can tilt it over because it's just gonna pop and like onto the floor. This one is popping out already, which is so sad about it. Yeah, I can't be doing tutorials any longer with this quad because it's just gonna you know, shatter on me. Thankfully it's not. This is literally like falling out. So anyways, this is a really gorgeous quad. Let me just carefully show you guys. You guys know how this looks already. Anyway, so this is one of my favorite quads and I'm so sad that I had to drop it, you know? Anyway, so I'm still gonna use it, but of course, very carefully. And this is why I put it back in its packaging so that I can sort of protect it. And then last but not least, I'm counting this as an eyeshadow palette. This is Luxx Pro to go. It's a very old palette as well, but you have 6 eyeshadows in here. Unfortunately, they don't make this anymore, but I absolutely love this transition shade especially. And this chai like bronzy all over lid shade. And I like that the highlighter shades are huge in pan sizes. I wish that more companies would do that to give us more highlighter, because I believe that's what I use mostly to highlight my brow bone and my inner corners most of the time. So it's a very special palette, and it also comes with a bronzer and 2 blushes, which the palette reads Pro to go. So this is a great, I mean, this is a little bit bulky for my liking, but this is a great, I guess, a little weekend sort of getaway type of palette. Oh my goodness, so I almost forgot to share the last 2 palettes. These are also new to my eyeshadow palettes collection. I haven't used these, but these are also old but gold. When she released these type of 6-pan palettes from time to time, I had, I guess, rehomed one of her 6-pan ones, the La Vie en Rose, the one that's really pink and purpley. I just feel like it wasn't my vibe. So I am keeping the, this one is a Mothership Subliminal Platinum Bronze one. And this is supposed to like go hand in hand with the first Mothership. I don't know if any of these shades are repeated, but I want to play with this. I don't know. Are you guys interested in seeing me try on this palette on camera? Let me know in the comments down below, and maybe I can do a makeup tutorial using that 6-pan palette. And I'm excited to try this one because this is definitely my color story. This is the Mothership Sublime Bronze Ambition, and a lot of people talk about this, and I'm just glad that I got my hands on these. These are so rare. I think you can find them on Mercari if you guys are interested. A lot of people are reselling these or rehoming these, but I'm not ready to let go of them yet because I haven't, you know, played with them at all. And I was thinking to declutter this because I was like, I have all of the Mothership palettes, so why do I need an edition palette? But you know what? I'm just not ready to let go. So really beautiful color story, don't you think? Okay, so this was a long video. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at all of the eyeshadow palettes that are sort of left with me in my eyeshadow palettes collection. I was able to share each one of them with you guys because I am down now to 57 eyeshadow palettes. So I still have about, I guess, 51 eyeshadow palettes for them to be rehomed at some point. They are all listed on my Mercari. I think I just have 3 more to list and then I am good to go. But I'm going to showcase the ones that I'm letting go of to you guys. Maybe I'll film that segment tomorrow because it's just, I need to clean everything up. And also I will show you guys how I store all of my eyeshadow palettes now. I am really enjoying the roomy look of all of my eyeshadow palettes. They all have a place in their homes. They're not cluttered by any means. So anyways, I wish you guys Happy New Year, Happy Holidays, stay safe out there, and I will see you guys next year. Take care, everyone. Bye. Hi everyone, so this is Future Shu. I almost forgot to add the footages of my, I guess, updated eyeshadow palettes storage situation. So I tried filming using this vlog camera and also talking through it, but the audio didn't sound right. So I have to find other ways. So the first slot is where I keep all of my mini eyeshadow palettes, and then the bottom one is where I keep all of the larger size eyeshadow palettes, and it is working out for me. The ones in the box, the cardboard box underneath my bed, is where I am, I guess, rehoming all of them. I just want to make sure they're separated and neat to a certain extent so that I can have a clear space, if that makes sense. Anyways, I really apologize for the length of this video, but I hope you guys enjoy nonetheless. If you like, please leave likes and comment down below telling me how many eyeshadow palettes you have currently, and are you in the process of decluttering your eyeshadow palettes collection as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.